Good morning. I've decided to do a redo of my Ortho4xp tutorial on how to use Ortho4xp because the last video I did, I wasn't real happy with it. I had a few mistakes on it and it seems confusing to some people. So I'm going to make a single tile here for everybody, and from start to finish should take 15-20 minutes. I'll see if I can splice or snip a little bit of the middle out, shorten up the video, but we'll get started now. First thing I do is when I download my Ortho4xp, I put it right here on my desktop, so it's easy to access anytime I need to use it. It's right there. It's like a shortcut. I can actually go right inside of it. That's the first thing I do. Step one. Step two, I go down on my taskbar and I pause my antivirus. You may not have to do this if you got different antivirus. It just happens that my Kaspersky antivirus doesn't recognize the exe file on Ortho4xp, and every time I try to run Ortho4xp, it deletes the exe file. So I pause my Kaspersky. So now we're going to go and make a tile. So the first thing you do is you open up your Ortho4xp. You go to a bin in here, a folder called bin, and you scroll down and you look for a exe file, which is called Ortho4xp version 120b exe. That's what you look for. You click on that and run it. And when you run it, you'll get this page that opens up. First thing you'll see is you get all your different sources from here. BI, that stands for Bing, and there's a whole bunch of different sources for your ortho, but Bing is the default, works the best, so we'll leave that one. And then where I was wrong before, you've got these different levels. I'll do a real quick one just using level 11 because it'll download fast. But the default is 16. What I do is I use 17 for my favorite flying areas. Like I use it over my home airport, over major cities like Toronto. It's got the best clarity, and then I use 16 for deserts and forests, like areas where there's no populations, because you don't fly that much out of them and look at them. They're not that good. Now I've actually tested these different tiles, and what I found is, depending on the size of your hard drive, level 16, the tile is 2 gigabytes. Takes 15 to 20 minutes to download. Level 17, this is how much they multiply. Level 17 is 8 gigabytes. Takes about an hour to download. Now you don't want to use 18, because 18 or above, 18, a single tile is 32 gig. So you can imagine how quickly that will fill up your hard drive. So because I want to speed up the video, I'm going to use level 11. Now somebody asked me before, can you have a level 16 tile beside a level 17 tile? And the answer is yes, you can. It'd be the same as a tile beside the default scenery. The tiles look exactly the same. Like the fields are the same size, so they mesh side by side very well. And from the sky you won't see like small fields, tiny little fields beside bigger fields. The fields are the same size, so the tiles match up. The only difference when they talk about tile size is the clearness of the tile, how blurry they are. So a level 16 tile will be a little bit more blurry than a level 17 tile, but they'll fit together. So you don't have to worry about having two different size tiles side by side. So like I say, I use my open country level 16 beside my built up areas level 17. and I only use 17 where I've got my favorite flying, where I do most of my flying. So that's the difference between the tiles. So let's get started. The first thing you do is you open up the map. You click on Earth Tile Map, and there's a map. So we're going to make a tile, and let's find a area here. Let's say where I don't have a tile. I'm going to go someplace. Now, to move the map, what you do is you click on the left mouse button and you hold it down. And as you hold it down and move your mouse, or is it the right one? The right one, I'm sorry. The right mouse button, hold it down. And as you hold it down, you can move your mouse sideways and you can move the map. Okay, by holding down the right mouse button. And I'm going to go somewhere where I know I don't have a tile. So we'll go down here somewhere to Tampico, Mexico. Now the way you get a tile is you hold down your shift key, your left shift key, and left click on the area you want to make a tile. So that's a tile. Those tiles are about 80 miles by 120 miles. That's how much area they cover. So I clicked on this tile on purpose because you see there's more water than land, right? We're going to get some land, but there's more water. And there's a reason I clicked on that tile. Once you do that, you go back to your other page, this page, and you got to set up the page. So what we do when I click on most of the water is down here. You see where it says do nothing. I'm going to leave that for now. But normally what I do is I click exit program because I'm doing other things on my computer, and if I have exit program, when the thing is done doing the tile, it'll just shut down the program automatically. But I'll leave it do nothing so I can show you how it looks at the end. And now overlays, how you get your overlays, that's your lights and your roads and your traffic. You need an overlay. So you got to click this little box, custom overlay, and when it opens up your computer, you've got to go to your X-Plane 11. Well, I've got Steam, so where mine is I've got to go to the C drive. I can find the C drive. C drive. Program files times 86. Steam apps, common, X-Plane 11. So there, we're in X-Plane 11. When you do that, then you click on Global Scenery, X-Plane 11 Global Scenery, and you see where it says Earth Nav Data. That's in the X-Plane 11 Global Scenery. But you don't go that far. You just click on highlight the X-Plane Global Scenery up here so that you can see it down here. It'll say that. It'll move it into the folder. That's what you need. That's the folder you select. And it'll come down here. See that? The other thing is, like I say, you've got your tile size here. But because there's a lot of, the reason I picked that tile purposely, because it has a lot of water, is if you are downloading a tile, I go back to the map, this one here, back to the map, anywhere you have a large body of water, like here there's lots of water in the tile, the Great Lakes, if you got a tile along the edge of the Great Lakes, when you select a lot of water in your tile, put a check mark in this use mass for inland anytime you're doing the water tile, because if you don't have a check mark in there, what you'll end up with is a lot of big white squares out in your water. A lot of people who use ortho seen that already, and this will eliminate that. So now we're ready to make the tile. Then you go back to your map, and we're going to make this tile right here. The other thing is too, if you double click on the tile with your left mouse button, it'll get a yellow box, and that'll tell you the tile number. So that's the tile number up there. Now, what you do is you put a check mark in build mask and build overlays. Then all you do, even when you're making a single tile, click batch build. Now we started building our tiles, so I'll go back to the other page and you can see the tile that started building right here. And we'll just have to wait till it's done building. The other thing is I want to tell you is all these 3 pages are minimized to my desktop. See right there, there's the bin, there's this black file. Do not delete these 3 pages. You have to have all 3 pages open. I just minimize them. See, they're all here, all 3 of them. That page, this page, and the map page. They're all 3 of them sitting on my taskbar. Do not close any of those pages while you're downloading a tile. And you can watch the progress on this page. And it should be reasonably fast because, like I say, I'm only running level 11. I did that for the purpose of speeding up the video. It should download pretty quick, maybe in 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe 5 minutes. We just sit here and when it's done, I can show you where you put everything. Alright. Just checking some stuff here. So we'll see how our progress is going. Because on the map page, if I open up the map page, if you have the do nothing selected, the way you know this tile is finished, it's hard to see because it's over the water. But right now this square is red. When the tile is finished, that square will be blue. And you don't have to do 1 tile at a time. You can click on 4 or 5 tiles all at once. I won't do it because it's running now, but I can click on a group of tiles, 4 or 5 tiles together, and when you click batch build, it will download them all. And you watch the map and you can see them go blue one at a time as each tile, because it'll do them in sequence. And as each tile is done, it'll go blue. So if you got, like, say you got like 6 tiles here in this area, all of a sudden you see this one go blue and these 3 are still red, and then this one will go blue and these 2 are still red, and so on. When they're all blue, you know you're done. So that's one way you can tell. But like I say, I just like to select, when I'm downloading tiles, I just like to select this box to say, like in here, exit program when finished. So that's the way you do it. And the thing is too, if you start to download 4 or 5 tiles at once, naturally it'll take longer. If 1 tile takes 15 minutes and 4 tiles is going to take an hour, right? But I'm just doing 1 quick tile level 11 here just to show you that how it works. See, the tile is done because it says right down here, completed in 2.7 seconds. And it's copying the final overlay. So it should be blue. Yeah, see, you can see it's blue. So it's done. Alright. So now the thing is to get it into your custom scenery. So what you do is you don't need this page anymore. You can close that. See, I always do exit program when done because I'm never sure if that's blue or red. It's hard to tell. So it says it's done. I'll double check. Yeah, nothing else is going on. So we'll assume it's finished. I'll take a look in the bin and find out. If I open up my bin file, this is my Ortho4xp folder. So if I go through there, yeah, Okay, it's done. So now we can close that. When you close your Ortho4xp, then you go into the Ortho4xp folder. Now the tile has been built, right? We know it's been built. In here now you'll see 3 folders you can concern yourself with. This one here says Ortho Photos, Ortho4xp Overlays, and Tiles. Those are the 3 things you've got to concern yourself with. What you do is, the first thing you do is you open up your X-Plane 11. Go to Custom Scenery. And I'll show you here. This is all my custom sceneries. I got a million of them. And you see here, these are all my Ortho4xps. That's how many I have. I have a gazillion of them. And I open up here and I go into my tiles folder, and that's your ortho fold tile that you just made. You go into the tiles folder. I'll do this again. Open up the tiles folder, and that's your tile. And if you made 5 or 6 of them, there'd be a list here, 5 or 6 of these things saying Z Ortho4xp 2288. There'll be 2292, blah 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 blah, right down the list, right? But we've only made one. So there's our tile right there. The first thing you do is left click on it, hold down the mouse button, and drag it into your X-Plane 11 custom scenery folder. Bang, there, it's in there with all my other ones, right? I'll get over to the side here where I got a blank spot. Now you can back up. Do not delete the tiles folder. You keep the tiles folder. The other thing is, the next thing you do is your overlays has to go into your custom scenery. Left click on it, hold down the mouse button, drag it into your custom scenery. I already have it in there, so because I already have tiles, I already have an Ortho4xp overlay folder in it. So you're just adding this overlay information to all the other overlays. So you want to merge it? Yes. So there, we've got the overlay information for that tile in the custom scenery. So there, we've got that done. You don't have to worry about dragging the overlay folder out of here, because when you run Ortho4xp again to make another tile, it will create a new overlay folder in here. So don't worry about dragging it out. That's what you got to do. The only other thing that I discovered that I do is this Ortho Photos folder here. Well, it only has one photo in it, but if you make a bunch of tiles and big tiles, that thing will get full. But when I'm done doing all of that, moving the tile over, moving the overlay folder, I delete this. It only creates those photos to make the tile. So once it's done, I delete that folder, Ortho Photos folder. And the reason I do that is because that thing, if I've done like level 17, where I've had like, if I download 10 gig of ortho tiles, there'll be 10 gig of photos in there. Those photos are only created to make the tile. Once the tile is made, you don't need those photos. But don't delete that thing until everything else is done. That is the very last thing you do. And when the next time you run, the same thing with the overlays. The next time you run Ortho4xp, it will create a new Ortho Photos folder. That's a tongue twister. So there, we're all done. We got the tile and the overlay into our X-Plane 11 custom scenery. So now what you do is when you run, the first time you run, after you put the tiles into your custom scenery, you got to run your X-Plane 11 to get them installed into the custom scenery ini file. So we'll run this. Take a second here to get going. Initiating the plugins. I got some other stuff going. I just want to make sure I got these pages all closed. I must have something updating in the background. Shouldn't be that long. There she goes. I'm going to close a bunch of this stuff down. Now, don't forget when you're done when you're done making your tiles, turn back on your antivirus, resume protection. Okay, there we've opened up X-Plane 11. Now once you've done that, then you got to close it. Go back into your custom scenery folder. Open up your ini file by left clicking on it, and you can see here's the new tile at the top. So you don't want your Ortho4xp tile on the top. You want it below all your airplanes. So I hold down my left mouse button and drag across and highlight it, right click on it, and I cut it, which is like a copy and paste. So cut it. I'll move this up here. I don't like that big space. And then you scroll down all the way below all your custom airports, all your sceneries to the very bottom till you find all your Ortho4xp. You get right down to the bottom with your Ortho4xp. I'm going slow here just to show you. These are all my airports. All my VFR, all my W2XP, all my prefab. And there we are. There's all my Ortho4xp. So you can stick it anywhere in here because it'll rearrange it alphabetically. So I'll make it space, right click, paste it. So there it is, the 2298. That's the tile we just made. And here's the ortho overlays. I've already got my overlays in there, so if it's your very first tile, this will be at the very top too. And what you got to do is you got to bring it below all your sceneries and put it just above your tile. So your overlays goes just above your tile. And if I scroll down further to below all my tiles, look at all the tiles I have. The only thing that goes below your tiles are your meshes. And anything that says double Z, you see Ortho is 1Z. Anything that's got 2 Zs goes below it. Mostly all your terrain and your meshes go below your ortho. Meshes and terrains. Everything else goes above your ortho. And that's it. Now when you run your game in that area, you should be able to see that. Then when you go to close it, because I changed it, you got to save it, and it'll save the new arrangement you just made, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, and that was 2298. I don't fly there, so and it's only level 11, so I just did that to show you how it is. So here it is. Here I'm going to right click on it and delete it. I don't want that tile. So that's how you remove tiles if you don't want them. Anyway, I hope that's a little more concise for you guys how to use Ortho4xp. Stop my recording. I'll get this posted right away.